The secret to building a successful brand is by knowing what successful brands are doing and studying them, because only a madman will do something differently and expect a different result, right? If you do the same thing, you get the same results. But if you do it differently, you get a different result. And so I shared with members of my community why Activelyblack, a brand, is very, very successful. Because someone even asked me, can I launch an athleisure wear? Which is one of the opportunities that they get as members of eCommerce Accelerator. You get to ask me your questions and I get to answer your questions. So this video is a response to that question that I was asked by the member, and right now you also get privileged to see why this brand is successful. So let's get into the video.
So what is your, I was going to ask this on the call, but I'll ask it now. What's your framework for, like, I know your branding is like, hey, I sold these 2 companies, 128 million, but what's the process of how you help people go from starting out until exiting their company?
Right
I
now,
mean, do you have a framework, like, you know what I mean?
yeah, of course. Like we have I have like different offer tiers, right? So eCommerce Accelerator is just the entry for people to understand my process, right? And then once they understand it and they're like, oh, okay, is there anything that I can use to fast track the journey? Then we have the brand map, ecom brand map, which I show them how to ideate faster, get the products in place, and then hire A players. That's like within 90 days. So within 90 days, they can go from, but it's mainly for people who already have the money to spend. And that's like 25,750. And with that, like we put the entire process together within 90 days. And by the 128th day, they should be generating at least bare minimum $50,000 a month, and within an extra 60 days from that. So literally 180 days, they should be at 100 to 250K a month. That's mainly because they already have the money to play around with, right? Now, for those who have money but they don't have as much time, I show them how to buy businesses. It's $125,000 for them to do that. And I haven't been super aggressive with the entire plan that we were to roll out. And that was mainly because I didn't have, like, one of my previous videographers wasn't delivering on what I was paying him for. So I had to fire him and look for a new videographer. So now, like, I have an entire game plan on how I want to put my brand out there, documenting on YouTube, documenting on Instagram. It's just been a shit show because the stuff we were supposed to roll out in the beginning wasn't possible, and that was because he didn't deliver on his own end, right? So now I have 2 videographers, like one full-time, one temp, and then I have like team of editors that we're going to use to push content and all of that. But I'm excited to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, because I've been around the marketing space for way too long, and I haven't been doing ecom. I had my own supplement like many years ago, but I got hacked on Amazon. Anyway, long story. But I'm doing digital marketing for a long time, and I have a business with my brother that I started, and we are teaching people Spanish. You said you speak Spanish, right?
Yeah, hablo español a
That's
little bit, yeah.
yeah. So, and that we have like a framework. So people are like, oh, how do you guys teach Spanish? So we have a framework. It's called the flowchart method, and it's 3 steps, and that's given people certainty that, okay, if I'm going to go with this company, I'm going to learn the flowchart method is completely different to anything else that we've learned, and this is how we're getting the results. And then we have like testimonials and stuff like that. So I was just wondering, looking at your marketing, I was wondering, all right, what's the process that everyone follows that gets them the result? I understand we have this group, the calls every week, but like, is there like an actual, okay, you do this, this, and this, and this, and then you'll be at this result?
Yeah. And the main reason we have this is mainly just to, this is like an incubator, right? You know,
Mm,
when you go to an incubator, you have different people, and people move at different pace, right? Like there's people in this community that are slow learners, then there's people that they're already acting. Like two out of you guys now have paid me. David, he flew to Dubai. Now he has even moved to Dubai, and we had
Oh,
like a
nice.
VIP day, and we are literally we just finalized the idea of his brand today. So now he's about to order for samples, have them delivered here to Dubai, and within the next 90 days, he's going to have a brand that is already printing revenue, right? And then there's another guy, Jay, in the community too. He even paid the $125,000 for the entire process, right? So he already has a brand that is running right now, right? And I mean, first month I think they did $48,000, which is nothing crazy. But the second month that they are on right now, they are on pace to do 120. I think last I checked, it's $126,000, right? So there are ways like that. You understand? So everybody has different pace, but as long as you see who, because at the end of the day, it's not like I'm looking for loads of people for me to hit my own goal. I really just need 50 really bright minds who will execute on what I'm sharing with them and to go ahead and get the desired outcome, right? So the only reason I intentionally kept this group small in the beginning because I wanted to also get feedback, right? Like I wanted to know what we could improve upon, see how we can improve our mode of operation, mode of delivery. So once I've fine tuned everything, which I have now, we're about to go crazy with generating as much attention as possible for even this, right? Right now, like, we've had a few calls, testimonials, feedback, and all of that. So I'm extracting all of that we can use. Hey, so if you're enjoying this breakdown right now, this is what I share with members of my community Ecom Accelerator. I do breakdowns every Sunday with them, how I'm growing my watch brand Phoenix Watches to the $100 million mark after exiting two companies for $128 million. And I share with them experts who are also dominating their fields, people who are building successful brands. So you get to understand what it takes to build a successful brand. I know this industry is filled with a lot of people who don't walk the talk, but you can definitely check out Phoenix Watches so you can see that this is factual. You're just a fly on the wall learning strategies to avoid the mistakes that other people make. So if this interests you, definitely check out the pinned comments. Now understand this is application only, and we only take 17% of those who apply. See you on the inside. In our marketing materials, right? Well, imagine if I don't even know, okay, this is the pace that this person is moving at, this is the pace that members of the community are moving at, and then I just ramp it all up, and now people are coming in and they don't have a great experience. Like for me, the three core things are how people feel pre-purchase, during purchase, post-purchase, right? And also making sure that we over deliver on what is promised, right? Because now, okay, if you pay $3,000 to join a community, but the strategies can make you like $1 million, it seems like shit. This was undersold, right? Do you understand? That drives up the value. I mean, one guy in the community gave feedback that he was stuck at $500,000 a year before with his brand, and one call has given him insights that will help him make more and has also saved him the time. So that kind of person wouldn't feel anything crazy if you say, "Hey, yeah, can I learn more from you and fast track the journey instead of just waiting for these calls?" Right? Oh, okay, fine. You can pay this or you can pay this. They are more willing to do that because they've had a great experience, right? But if I just focus on revenue, and at the end of the day, it's not really revenue. Like there's no amount of money I can make from this that will compensate for the amount of money I'm looking to make in the long run, right? So my end goal is to create an amazing experience for everyone who's learning from me, and then extract the core people who are action takers and just help those ones get to, like 250 mil with exiting their brands and with 20% stake in it. I'm good. So that's what
Yeah,
I
man.
focused on with this.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see like you're working hard. I mean, obviously you're you're a very hard worker. I can see that. And yeah, I'm sure you got lots of plans. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I had a question about the Phoenix watches. Like, so you built that
Yeah.
list. You got like 300 something thousand people on that,
Yeah.
and I'm wondering how much approximately did that cost you to build that list? Maybe like half that money,
Literally, literally
150.
zero.
Really?
Zero.
All free traffic?
Yeah. Yeah. All free traffic. I didn't pay a dime.
Wow.
I
Just
didn't pay a dime.
wow. I'm not sure if you covered that on the last call because I was on that call about how you grew the audience, but I don't know if
Yeah.
you mentioned that.
I said it in this presentation that we had. I said it's. I've not spent a dime on acquiring traffic. I mean, well, if we count how much I spent on content, maybe, but I've not really spent anything crazy like ads or whatever. I've not spent on ads at all to acquire the traffic, the leads that we have. If I spent money right now, we have 351,000. The last time I checked, it was 350,000. Oh, see, when I made this video with you guys, it was 327. Now we have 351,000. So if we spent even just 10 or I don't know, the last time I did the maths, it would have cost us at least $50 to acquire those leads on the wait list. It would have cost us more, but if we assume just $50, that's like 16.9 million. But now, looking at how much people we have on the wait list, it's crazy. But yeah, I want to share with you guys a brand that is very, very successful. Because someone asked me if they wanted to start an activewear brand, like an athleisure wear brand, how would they go about it? And I'm like, you know what? Instead of just answering you here, which I did, but how about I answer every one of you also in our call? So I decided that would be the topic of today's call. So I just copy it here and share with you all. But yeah, I've not spent a dime to acquire all the leads that I have on
That is
Phoenix watches. I'm literally revolutionizing the way luxury brands are built.
mm,
Yeah. So someone asked a question about this. See, I don't know why these people haven't joined, but I'll just continue. Yes, so someone asked me if you can build an athleisure brand, and I said yes, you can, but you would only do that and be successful if you model after something that has worked. So I'll stop screen share a bit and then change. I'll go to Instagram and then show you guys what the Actively Black brand is all about and how you can also do the same thing. But this is literally showing you what has worked. Um, Actively Black. Yeah, someone is trying to join. Okay, so yep, I'm going to share my screen now. Share screen. Uh, okay, so this is the brand called Actively Black. Can everybody mute their mic for now? Let me just see if I can mute everybody's mic. Yeah, cool. So this is the brand called Actively Black, right? And this brand started as an athleisure brand. And even though it is still an athleisure brand, a lot of people have tried to build athleisure brands and haven't succeeded. So what did they do different? How did they do it to the point where now this is the founder, by the way, creating a brand that makes people feel something. This is the founder of the brand, right? Now, he was formerly a player. Hey, so if you're enjoying this breakdown right now, this is what I share with members of my community eCom Accelerator. I do breakdowns every Sunday with them, how I'm growing my watch brand Phoenix Watches to the $100 million mark after exiting two companies for $128 million. And I share with them experts who are also dominating their fields, people who are building successful brands. So you get to understand what it takes to build a successful brand. I know this industry is filled with a lot of people who don't walk the talk, but you can definitely check out Phoenix Watches so you can see that this is factual. You're just a fly on the wall learning strategies to avoid the mistakes that other people make. So if this interests you, definitely check out the pinned comments. Now understand this is application only, and we only take 17% of those who apply. See you on the inside. He was formerly a basketball player, and he took that around and started this brand. Now this is one of the biggest brands in the USA that is an athleisure brand. Now as you see, his brand page is bigger than his. It's kind of, oh shit, the size is not huge enough. Okay, so I hope you can see now without having to strain your eyes. As you will see, his brand page, Actively Black, is bigger than his own brand, right? And there are three main reasons why this brand is successful, and I've highlighted it, right? One, they took a product and tied it to a cause their ideal audience is emotional about. Now, we know how crazy Americans are about Black Lives Matter. Like, Americans love anything around, oh, I'm Black, I'm Hispanic, white. Like, there's always that segregation, and there's a heavy emotion that is attached to it, right? So, Lani, who is the founder of Actively Black, right, decided that, you know what, I don't just want to build another Nike. I don't just want to build another um, Lululemon, whatever. I want to build a brand but tie it to a cause, right? And of course, this is not a luxury brand. So for those of you who are saying, yeah, but will this strategy only work for luxury brands? It's not just luxury brands. Like, you can build any brand as long as it fulfills the criteria that I'm about to explain to you, then for sure you will have a successful brand, right? And this is the page. Like, it's nothing crazy. Like, and this is why the main reason I decided to highlight this brand is because a lot of you overcomplicate things. Like, you overthink things that, oh, the brand aesthetics has to look a certain type of way. The brand has to look a certain type of way. Like, their Instagram looks more like a blog page than a brand page, right? But the main reason is they are constantly inviting people to have a discussion. Like, the way they build their brand is to involve their community. Uh it's not wait, I've forgotten the word I wanted to use. But the way it is built is to make sure people feel involved, people feel included, right? You see all Black girls have good hair. Like, they just make you feel involved, right? And so let me just go back to my point. One, they took a product and tied it to a cause their ideal audience is emotional about. Now, anyone can go on Alibaba.com. Anyone can go on Alibaba and start at leisure brand like gymwear. Anyone can start this. Anyone can go on Alibaba and decide, you know what, I want to sell this, right? But the difference between a commodity and a brand, or a commoditized product and a brand, is the feeling that it evokes, the emotion that it evokes. As you see, this is 1556. Let me show you how much Actively Black sells theirs for. So they are not trying to be the next Gymshark. They are not trying to be the next Nike. They just want to sell something that makes you feel invested. And it's crazy. They are now like they partnered with Nigeria to launch an outfit. As you see, $70, $45. So this is not a luxury, they're not selling a luxury item or anything like that. But when you look at their markup price, $7 for $70, I think they have good margins, right? And their website is nothing crazy. Like it's not something that they worked too hard on. If I took over this brand, I know I would change the branding, but hey, it is working for them, right? Shit, can you see 16,000 reviews? And obviously, it's not everybody that buys something from you that drops a review. Um, and that's just one out of many. So let's go to men, right? This they're selling joggers for $100, right? Still tank for $45. Same thing you could find on here. Joggers for $11.89, right? So it's nothing crazy, and they are selling a mass market product. It's something anyone and everyone can have access to. The tank tops, say $765. How much are they selling theirs for? $45, right? So the only reason that makes Actively Black, and last I checked, I think Lani posted that they did 20 to 40 million. I don't know. But now they have one of the guys on Shark Tank, Damon John, is backing their brand now. So it has become like a mainstream brand that is really recognized. And the only reason this is very, very successful is because the emotions attached to it. And then it is tied to an identity that has a mass market appeal. A lot of people, or a lot of Americans feel like they are marginalized. They feel like they are oppressed, right? And they feel like they are the minority, right? So this brand came out and it's like, from the name, you can see that, hey, Actively Black. This is by a black founder for black people. That was really like their captivating edge when they came into the market, right? So they didn't try to be the next Gymshark. They didn't try to be the next Nike. They didn't try to be the next Lululemon or any of that. They saw a market, saw a gap in the market, and decided that they are going to. Hey, so if you're enjoying this breakdown right now, this is what I share with members of my community eCom Accelerator. I do breakdowns every Sunday with them, how I'm growing my watch brand Phoenix Watches to the $100 million mark after exiting two companies for $128 million. And I share with them experts who are also dominating their fields, people who are building successful brands. So you get to understand what it takes to build a successful brand. I know this industry is filled with a lot of people who don't walk the talk, but you can definitely check out Phoenix Watches so you can see that this is factual. You're just a fly on the wall learning strategies to avoid the mistakes that other people make. So if this interests you, definitely check out the pinned comments. Now understand this is application only, and we only take 17% of those who apply. See you on the inside. Sell a product that is tied to a feeling and an entity. The moment you can make people go from it's just another product to, oh shit, it's a course that I can rally behind, then yes, you have a product that can be sold anytime, over and again, right? And this is a market that will keep making money because every day there is one person that feels like, oh, woe is me, I'm black in America, right? And there's also people that feel like they're not going to spend their money with anything unless it's a black owned brand. I know people that will say, I'm not going to buy from a brand unless it's a woman owned or is it black woman owned brand. There are people like that, right? So your end goal is to find a market, find a gap that exists, find an identity that you can wrap around what you're selling and just go all in on it. Because the truth is, there are enough brand selling what you're probably going to sell. I don't advise anyone to start selling something that has never been sold before. Because one, you will face first mover advantage problems. You are the one that will have to break into that market. And then you create room for other competitors to come in and just leverage on what you've already felt that gotten right and they take over, right? But in this instance, you want to find a product that you understand the course behind it. You understand how people will feel when they buy from the brand. And how people feel starts from what they think when they first come across the brand, when they buy, and after they buy. So it's not just how they feel when they come when they buy the product, but how they feel before they come across before they no 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 when they come across the brand, before they make the purchase, during the purchase, and after the purchase, right? And then if you can create an identity, and that is one thing that Activelyblack has done very, very well. And also, as you can see on their brand website, a lot of the people they use, I mean, most of the models that they use are black, right? One of the edges that Fenty Beauty has is Fenty, their theme was inclusivity, luxury for everyone. And they capitalized on the fact that Victoria's Secret wasn't really selling to women who were fat, and they decided to sell that, right? So as you can see, it's nothing crazy. This is a brand that is only selling the feeling, the emotion. They are not selling anything other than that. The landing page is so, I swear to God, their website is so shitty in the way I know things, but they are making bank. So you don't have to overthink anything, right? If this site can be like this and they are raking in a ton of money, right? See, it's just like a basic general product page. Yeah, like age range 45 to 54, 55 to 64, age range 65 plus. Literally, there's nothing crazy at all going on this website. They didn't put in too much effort into it, but they are making money. And then look at another thing that they have done. They created a community, exclusive rewards, benefits, and access for tribe members only. And see, starter free for everyone, all star $25 a month, MVP $500 a year, legend $950 a year, right? Available for the first 100, legend only pricing, Zoom meetings with the founder, vote on future product release. Like, can you imagine? They are selling merch and then adding a membership, a subscription based offer to even clothing that they are selling, which is one of the things I told you guys about, right? If you can build your product around a community, you would make bank. And see what they are doing here. They're selling membership. Would you have thought a brand with just merch will be selling this? But it works for them. Think of how many people will buy a shirt or a jogger just for them to have access to be able to buy their membership. And what they are promising is nothing crazy, right? Zoom meetings with the founder, which elevates the status of the founder. Bonus $500 store credit at sign up. Vote on future product releases. So you could build a brand around any product. Literally, you could build a brand around any product as long as it is marketed the right way, right? And now their emphasis is really around the story that they tell. It's not about any other thing other than the story that they tell. And that is what they are doing here. Now, this is also a very, very bold move because saying they donate 500K to Black communities gets them more press. But the thing with this is that it's a tax write-off, and you don't even get to pay taxes on charity. So not only are they making money, but they are also using this to get that community back in. You see? See? If you read the comments, you'll see that people rally around it. As you will see, if you read the copy here, okay, dear tribe, I want you to know that none of what we have been able to. Hey, so if you're enjoying this breakdown right now, this is what I share with members of my community eCom Accelerator. I do breakdowns every Sunday with them, how I'm growing my watch brand Phoenix Watches to the $100 million mark after exiting 2 companies for $128 million. And I share with them experts who are also dominating their fields, people who are building successful brands. So you get to understand what it takes to build a successful brand. I know this industry is filled with a lot of people who don't walk the talk, but you can definitely check out Phoenix Watches so you can see that this is factual. You're just a fly on the wall learning strategies to avoid the mistakes that other people make. So if this interests you, definitely check out the pinned comments. Now understand this is application only, and we only take 17% of those who apply. See you on the inside. To do in the last 3 years will be possible without you. Your support from the beginning is what poured gasoline on a fire I had inside of me to be the global brand. Blah blah blah. I still remember Black executives and investors telling me not to name the brand Activelyblack for fear it would cheapen, diminish, and hold the brand back. Your belief and support is why this brand is growing so fast and proving all those doubters wrong. But more importantly, your support is what allows us to fulfill our mission and purpose to uplift and reinvest back into the Black community. For those who still question and criticize our prices, I want you to understand that we are using premium quality materials for our products that rival any of the other global mainstream brands. So what they are doing is effectively pitting themselves against established brands and also showing that they are for the Black community. And Americans love that shit. Like Black Americans would spend their dollar with a brand they feel is representing the Black community. So that is really why this brand is a success. It's not because they make the best quality products. It's not because it is being repped by aspirational figures like what's this guy's name? Stephen Curry. It's not because it has been repped by big names. It is mainly because it is something people want to be behind. It is tied to an identity people want to be a part of. See, anyone could start a brand, but how many people can make it a movement? And that, my friends, is the secret to why this brand is very successful. So if you want to build a brand, regardless of the price point, see, they've gotten Luda to wear their product, which is cool. But at the end of the day, when you're starting a brand, you must this is Porsche, I think. Yeah, it's Porsche. So when you're starting a brand, you must think, what do I identify with? Who are the people I identify with? And who are the people I want to sell to? And then who are the enemies? Like Dave, for instance, and I are working together on his brand now. Of course, that's a paid package. We're working together on his brand, and we just finished with the idea for that, right? Of course, is to fast track his journey. However, one of the things that I want you guys to understand is regardless of the price point that you're going to sell your offers at, that you're going to sell your products at, if you don't make people feel or excluded, it depends on what's the end goal. If it's a mass market product, yes, you have to make people feel included. If it is a product that you want to sell just to a few people, then you have to make other people feel excluded. Give me a minute. I want to plug in my Mac. Yeah. So your end goal should be, how do I identify my core audiences? How do I get them to buy? And how do I get them to keep buying? And then also become my brand ambassadors. Because as you can see, people are proudly rocking Actively Black. Literally, let me share screen just so you see what I'm saying. We could go here and you will see, literally, this is a tank top, right? If you come here, look at how much the tank tops are. So if we go for a black tank top, you can see you literally can have this for $6. You pay $6 for you to order 300 pieces. So that's what, $1,800 for 300 pieces, right? So it costs so little to get the products. The thing that you would have to spend more time on is how you want your products to be perceived, how you want to market your product. If you don't give people a reason to stand with you, by you, and for you, you won't make bank. You won't make any money. You'll just be another flash in the pan. People won't buy. Now they are even creating something for the Nigerian team. Say $60, $65. It's literally $100 joggers. See, proceeds from sales of merch helps us support the Team Nigeria athletes and the workers at Lekki Garments Factory in Lagos. So, before you build a brand, your goal should be, who are the people I want to sell to? What are the courses they are passionate about? And then, how can I communicate this every single time in my marketing efforts? Because if you suck at communicating in your marketing efforts what you want, bro, you will not make a dime. Hey, so if you're enjoying this breakdown right now, this is what I share with members of my community eCom Accelerator. I do breakdowns every Sunday with them, how I'm growing my watch brand Phoenix Watches to the $100 million mark after exiting two companies for $128 million. And I share with them experts who are also dominating their fields, people who are building successful brands. So you get to understand what it takes to build a successful brand. I know this industry is filled with a lot of people who don't walk the talk, but you can definitely check out Phoenix Watches so you can see that this is factual. You're just a fly on the wall learning strategies to avoid the mistakes that other people make. So if this interests you, definitely check out the pinned comments. Now understand, this is application only, and we only take 17% of those who apply. See you on the inside. So this is what I wanted to share with you today. It's not about how much you sell your products. It's not about how pricey it is or how cheap you think it is. It's more of how you're able to communicate the feeling that you want people to feel, and also what enemies you're creating for people to rally behind you to fight. That's it. If you don't get that right, you're not going to make any amount of money. But I hope you found value in this. I hope I hope it made sense to you. Now, if you have any questions, I'm down to answer them.
Yes, I can totally see that because I had a similar thoughts to you. I was like, oh, you can just go on Alibaba and get some polyester spandex clothes, But the difference is the branding, like the message. Clearly, they're I've never seen that brand before, but their branding is really strong. So if I'm a white person looking at that brand, I'm like, I'm not buying no actively black. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's really good exclusion marketing, right?
yeah. You have to exclude some people to include some people. You have to be repelling to some people to attract some people, right? Because you can't say you want to be for everybody. If you are for everybody, you're for nobody. Your message will always fall face flat every single time you put it out if it is to appeal to everybody. So you have to be repelling to some people for it to be magnetic to some people. So you must have that at the back of your mind when you're building a brand. I'm not for everybody. So just focus on the people you are for, and you would make a shit ton of money with them.
Mm. I have a health background. I had a fitness brand for like 6, 7 years, and I kind of stopped it now, but for the last year, but I'm looking to get back into the physical product supplements. So that's what I'm looking at. For me, that will be the most aligned brand, right? And I was thinking about the using name licks, like you said in your group. And one of the names is called Perfectly Primed. And
Mm.
essentially, it's targeting people like me, right? So age between 28 to 55, health conscious. I meet a lot of people. I live in Bali, so I meet a lot of people like into their health here and in that age group, right? And they're just focused on optimizing vitamins, minerals, blood tests, testosterone, all this kind of stuff. And so this is kind of the idea that I had. There's so many different products I can make, testosterone, uh, both for men and women, right? So women painful periods is a big problem, stuff like this. And yeah, with my background in like health and nutrition and stuff like this, I had a personal brand before selling this stuff, so I could be the face of it, show behind the scenes, all this kind of stuff. But I was just wondering, like, what's the best? What input do you have? Because I don't know anything about this.
It's dope. Especially, see, the best market to sell to are people who are already aware of the problems they have and are just looking for the right solutions, right? So at that point, it's more of proving that your marketing is better than the rest and also working on the delivery. Like if you're able to serve a market that has the money, is aware of the problem, and are just looking for solutions, boy, you are going to make a shit ton of money. But your marketing just has to be a lot better and a lot stronger, right? So if you're going to talk about, yeah, you're optimizing your life, then you have to sometimes be to the extreme. There's this guy on YouTube right now who is spending millions of dollars to look younger. Let me see, is something Johnson?
Oh, Brian
Uh,
Johnson.
yeah, Brian Johnson. So he is also using that as something to promote his own brand of, I think it's supplement. Let me see. Oh, Brian Johnson. So it's literally talking about how using this to talk about, he's using this to build his own cult of people who are interested in aging backwards. Now, I don't think he's aging backwards. I'm not an hater or anything, but hey, like, I don't, this guy doesn't look like he's aging backwards. But however, he has people on lock, right? He's here saying skin care therapy. I know black don't crack, but his white doesn't look like it's not cracking. It's just my own view. So creating videos like this, he has the money, right? So he's building an audience of people that are interested in not dying early, right? Or increasing their lifespan, right? So in that instance, he's also using it. Can you imagine? He even has a video called Escape Death. My anti-aging protocol broke your world record. So the way he has framed his content is like he's the anti-aging guy, right? So if you're getting millions of views on how you're an anti-aging expert, holy shit, 173 million views, bro. And then he has like the protocol that he sells, right? Like blueprint. So if someone yeah, see his banner, don't die. Like, bro, I don't think there's anyone who won't die. But it's just building a cult behind his holy shit, he's already at 1 million subs. Last time I checked, this guy was like 100k subs or so. Ooh. That means there are 1 million people. Hey, so if you're enjoying this breakdown right now, this is what I share with members of my community eCom Accelerator. I do breakdowns every Sunday with them, how I'm growing my watch brand Phoenix Watches to the $100 million mark after exiting two companies for $128 million. And I share with them experts who are also dominating their fields, people who are building successful brands. So you get to understand what it takes to build a successful brand. I know this industry is filled with a lot of people who don't walk the talk, but you can definitely check out Phoenix Watches so you can see that this is factual. You're just a fly on the wall learning strategies to avoid the mistakes that other people make. So if this interests you, definitely check out the pinned comments. Now understand this is application only, and we only take 17% of those who apply. See you on the inside. Who are interested in not dying soon, right? And now he's selling products on anti-aging. Of course, who will buy? People who are interested in anti-aging, right? So it's the same way, like you have to repel some people to attract some people. I am not interested in not dying. I know someday I will die. So it's not something I'm going to seriously be looking at, right? But when you're going to sell something, sell to existing cults. And cults really means people who are aligned with a similar vision. There's punishments for not doing certain things. And then there is consequences for not doing certain things. Then there is reward for doing certain things, right? So you want to sell to people who are already invested in that. If I wanted to sell something that is anti-aging, it's like rolling a rock down the mountain if I go straight to the anti-aging cult and sell to them, versus trying to convince someone who doesn't even believe that there's life after death or whatever like that. Oh no, you should die. It's like, bro, I don't even enjoy life. Why do I not want to die? Do you understand? Like, you sell straight to people who are already spending money on something, but just market it in a better way, versus trying to appeal to people who don't even believe in it, and then trying to, break down their barriers or break down their defense mechanisms, right? So he, in this instance, will always make a shit ton of money selling anything to people who are already backed by this. I mean, this is proof. 1 million subscribers is no joke, right? It's getting views. It's getting views around this content. So for sure, is doing something right, and there are people that are interested in it. I just don't think this guy is not aging backwards. Look at his face. He's done way too many experiments with himself, right? But hey, the people who love him see him as their own god, right? So that's the point. You have to sell to people who already believe in certain things, right? And repel the people who don't believe in it. That's it. So you're able to do that very, very well. And then your product now delivers on the experience you promised to users. You're going to make bank. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's something that I was thinking of too, because the angle that taken is anti-aging, and obviously he's got the origin story, whatever origin story he has. He spent like $2 million. That's really interesting, right? And he's got good positioning. He got on podcasts and stuff. I was thinking of starting on TikTok Shop, but then my audience is, I don't know if they're actually on there, like people that are entrepreneurs who are aged between 30 and they're not really like you're not really scrolling TikTok on buying supplements, are you? I mean, you're not in the
Bro,
age bracket, but still.
you will be surprised. Like, I was listening to Ryan Serrant, and Ryan Serrant sold a $75 million house on TikTok. There's a guy called Mr. Jet, or I think he's Mr. Jet. But anyways, he sells private jets, and he's using TikTok and Instagram to sell jets. So don't think your audience are not on the
Wow.
platform until you try it out.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
like
All right.
people will buy as long as you have like a better story to tell or a better angle than the competition. Shit, you're missing out on a
Yeah.
lot of money by overthinking. Just go do and experiment with stuff.
Yeah. Okay, I'm
Maybe,
gonna go and figure out some stuff. My branding message.
yes, sir. That's the most important thing. Like once you understand your brand message at its core and the people you want to sell to, you make bank. Yep. So, any more questions?
How often do you email the Phoenix Watchers list? Have you emailed them at all, or you just gather the emails and just let them sit there?
We send them the first email when they join, but I only send out emails for that when we have a drop.
So that you're not warming them up.
No need for a warm up because they are already indoctrinated from the jump.
Right.
Yep. Any more
In-
questions,
Adding to
contributions?
that, do you suggest, so because you built the email list for Phoenix Watches, do you suggest to build an email list for every brand,
Yeah.
regardless of if they're luxury or mass market?
Even a personal brand, not even a physical product brand, every brand needs to have an email list because it increases the touch points and chances of people buying versus just waiting on social media. You could lose your social media platform at any point in time, right? But if you have an email list, plus open rates of emails are higher than how many people see what you post on Instagram. I have 100,000 plus followers. Sometimes my videos get 13K views, sometimes they get 700K views. And I go check the analytics. I'm like, what's the percentage of people who are following me versus those who aren't? The ones who see versus those who aren't, it's different, right? Sometimes it's like 13%, sometimes it's 20%. Except I make IG lives and I post it to my feed. That's when a larger percentage of my audience sees it. But emails, of course, like you get 30, 40, 50% open rates. That's better than just waiting on just social media. So yes, everybody should have an email list.
Awesome. Thanks.
You're welcome.
I have a document of questions to ask Abdul, so I'm just reading it.
Hey, so if you're enjoying this breakdown right now, this is what I share with members of my community Ecom Accelerator. I do breakdowns every Sunday with them, how I'm growing my watch brand Phoenix Watches to the $100 million mark after exiting two companies for $128 million. And I share with them experts who are also dominating their fields, people who are building successful brands. So you get to understand what it takes to build a successful brand. I know this industry is filled with a lot of people who don't walk the talk, but you can definitely check out Phoenix Watches so you can see that this is factual. You're just a fly on the wall learning strategies to avoid the mistakes that other people make. So if this interests you, definitely check out the pinned comments. Now understand this is application only and we only take 17% of those who apply. See you on the inside.
I think answer. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes, please go ahead.
Hello. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. In my own case, I feel like I'm wasting time. I wanted to start right now, but you remember the other day that you advised me that uh, I needed to have enough money because of the advertisement and all other things that I will need money for. So I'm just thinking, I mean, is there any way I can use the money that I have in hand to start, or I should just make sure that the money that I will need in bulk
Well,
in order to start the whole process?
you could start with what you have. It's just the main reason I advise that you have enough is because I don't want you to start and then get stuck along the line, right? Like, if,
Wow.
for instance, you start spending money now and that money can cover maybe like 3 months or maybe a
Mm-hmm.
month or two, and you are in the phase where maybe you've ordered for samples and you're trying to build awareness, but now you don't have the cash flow, right? But you could actually start and then figure it out along the way. I think that lights extra fire on your ass. Like, okay, I've already spent this money and I need to make this money back, so I have to keep, reinvesting the money. I just like to advise people that if you're going to start so that you don't have to stop at any point in time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But you could start. You literally could start. There's nothing I would say, hey, you shouldn't. You could start and you just reinvesting the money back into the business, reinvesting the money back into the business. You're in the
Uh,
USA, if I'm correct.
yes, I want to start
Exactly.
something big like yours. So maybe Phyllis washes, those something that will generate big money. So maybe why are you laughing? Yes.
Everything can generate big money. It's just about the strategy. It's really just the strategy and the audience that is being sold to. If you're starting something, maybe like you sell designer bags or whatever, like, or
Mhm,
wigs, as long as the audience have the purchase power and the
mhm,
message behind the brand is great, then yes, you'll make money. Telfa was started by someone, and Telfa is one of the biggest mid luxury brands right now. Like Beyonce rocked some Telfa brand bags, and it just blew up, right? So even if you start slow, you can still start, and
okay.
you just execute on the strategy. You watch the recordings of past calls and use that to implement. And if you're stuck at any point, you can always ask questions like, "Oh, this is what I'm struggling with. How do I go about this?" And yeah,
Okay. Thank you so
yeah,
much.
you're welcome.
I think that's adding to what you just said. That's probably the biggest reason why I haven't started yet because with the ecom, I think what I understand of it is the fastest way to grow is to just keep reinvesting the money back into the business for like a whole year, right?
You
Because I have a friend who has a brand selling hair loss products on Amazon, and he was like, "You like for the first year, I just reinvested all the money back into the business. That's how we grew so fast." Is that what you did as well when you started out?
Yeah, it's best that you reinvest. I say it. Do not pay yourself from the brand unless it is necessary. And the main reason is let's say your brand does like 6 figures within the first 6 months, maybe 100K or 250K, there's always that feeling of shit, I'm now making real money. Let me take out something. Don't take that money. If your profit margins are, if you make 250K and your profit margins are like 150K, take that entire 150K and reinvest it into the right A players to hire. Maybe someone who's good at media buying, someone who's good when it comes to delivery of the product. Then have someone handle logistics, right? Pay them good money so they are motivated to stay with you. Then the remaining money invest it into branding and marketing. Boy, you would triple your brand by just taking that money and dumping it back. Then, of course, it will get to a point where you are making way more than you even need to spend on the brand. So then, if you pay yourself, there really isn't any difference, right? But if your brand makes 150K and you're like, oh yeah, I'm boiling, you take out 20K. That 20K could have gone to a media buyer for maybe like 4 months, and that would have doubled or quadrupled your brand, right? So avoid that early feeling of I'm making money, let me spend this. No, if you spend the money, spend it back on the business, then the business will pay you in multiples, and then you can take that money and then do whatever you want. It's fun at that point.
Okay, yeah, that's a really key bit of advice, man. Thanks.
You're welcome. I say it is really not about how much you make, it's about how it is managed, right? There are 3 phases to making money. First, you make it, then you keep it, and then you grow it, right? But most people always just stay at the first phase. They learn how to make money, and that's it. But they don't understand how to keep and then grow it. The only way you can really grow your money is by putting it into the right things, right? If you now, I say it's that if I were to start all over again, how I'd grow my brand will be once I get to the 100K mark, which is after reiterating to find product market fit. I take the core profits of that money, split it into 3. 1, operation. 2, software. And the last is just emergency expenses. If anything were to come up, maybe customer products were delayed or whatever, that we can spend on getting, some inventory, stash, and all of that would make it a lot faster to grow the brand. So don't fall for the trap of, I call it big money syndrome. You're already making money. You'll see it on the dashboard that, oh shit, I'm making money. Hey, so if you're enjoying this breakdown right now, this is what I share with members of my community eCom Accelerator. I do breakdowns every Sunday with them, how I'm growing my watch brand, Phoenix Watches, to the $100 million mark after exiting 2 companies for $128 million. And I share with them experts who are also dominating their fields, people who are building successful brands. So you get to understand what it takes to build a successful brand. I know this industry is filled with a lot of people who don't walk the talk, but you can definitely check out Phoenix Watches so you can see that this is factual. You're just a fly on the wall learning strategies to avoid the mistakes that other people make. So if this interests you, definitely check out the pinned comments. Now understand, this is application only, and we only take 17% of those who apply. See you on the inside. I was doing 200K days and I had never bought a designer. The first designer item I bought was when I was 21, and that was really when I had sold my brand for $128 million. Not enough people can say, I'm seeing all this money, I don't want to spend it. Not enough people can do that.
You're right.
So
You're right.
if you see the money, it's cool.
Yes, you're right.
Yes, sir. So that's my
that's
advice.
why you need to have the income coming in outside
Yeah.
of the brand.
Yeah. Like if you have supplementary income, like the main reason I was able to grow my brands earlier was because I was consulting. I also had like the coaching aspects to my brand. Also, it's kind of like a two-way thing, right? Even if you look at how I'm building Phoenix Watches, although I'm not really making any money from like the coaching offer right now, my main money is coming from my luxury rentals, the cars, and then the Airbnb, and then my investments, because I've invested my money over time. So even for the next 5-10 years, I never touch the money that comes from Phoenix watches and just keep reinvesting it back into the business. So that's like the flywheel.
I'm jealous.
It's really just financial management. When you make the money, it gets to a point where even if you take out of the money that your brand is making, you wouldn't feel it. Like the brand wouldn't feel it too, right? If you get to the point, I say it's like the first 3 years are very, very crucial, that you figure out cash flow and customer retention. If you figure out cash flow, customer retention, and those two things are solid, and then you add making sure that your churn rate, employee churn rate, that is how many people who work for you leave, you want to reduce that to the barest minimum. So if you have consistent cash flow, customer retention, and your employee churn is low, bro, you've hit the jackpot. So even if you take out any money from your brand, you wouldn't feel it. If your brand is doing $250K a month, $500K a month, if you take out $20,000, your brand won't feel it, right? Because at that point, there's nothing you can do to reduce how much you're making if you get all those three things right. So at that point, you could pay yourself. You wouldn't even worry about it. But that's what these guys don't teach you. They just show you the numbers. Like you could have $1 million in a month, and your expenses, because you are living like, yeah, I'm making money, your brand will be drowning in debt. And you're blowing through this money, and you just wake up someday and you're like, yeah, the brand has to be foreclosed because we don't have the finances to maintain, the expenses that we have. Employees are feeling bad because you are living the, done lifestyle. Your employees are not making anything, and the brand isn't growing. So that's it.
Yeah, I can see that's a big part of this game, because digital products is different, right? Because it's pretty much mostly profit. But
Yeah.
physical products, you need a lot of capital for
Yep.
marketing, inventory, staff, emergency. Yeah, so many things.
Yep. It's very important. So, anyways, guys, wait, let me end this. All right. So now that you are done watching this, you might as well check out this playlist where I am currently documenting how you can build multi-million-dollar e-commerce brands, or you can check out this video right here and you would get a lot more insights on what it takes to build successful brands. And if you found value in this, definitely subscribe to this channel. I will be doing much more breakdowns of how to build successful e-commerce brands, plus I'm documenting how I'm building Phoenix watches. And if you find that interesting, let me know what you think in the comment section. I'll see you in the next video.